All right, first thing we'll do is on the count of three, everybody shout out your mascot. All right, one, two, three.
That was not a shot.
All right, one, two, three. All right, awesome, awesome. I was just trying to make it awkward for y'all to have some fun.
Okay, I'm Flora. I'm a 12th grader.
I'm Vera. I'm a 12th grader as well.
I'm Astrid. I'm also in 12th grade.
I'm Harper. I'm also in 12th grade.
I'm also in 12th grade.
We went a couple of places in southern India. We went to Kilamuriman, we went to Chennai and Madurai.
For me, at least, I definitely wanted to immerse myself in a culture more so than just be able to see it. And I thought with this experience, I'd be able to see a culture that I probably wouldn't be able to otherwise.
Yeah, I think for me, something that really inspired me was learning about India in school for so long. I took in my freshman year an Asian Worlds class, and then also in my sophomore year, I took AP World, and we learned extensively about the history of India. So to see somewhere that has that lengthy of a history and it's that rich in person was just something that really spoke to me.
I've always had an appreciation for like Indian culture. I've just started recently playing the sitar, which has been a huge, big like development for me. And just having this opportunity to go with, you know, my school just to India was just such a gift, and I feel like I've just been so honored to take that.
I really wanted to go to India because it's a country that you know you hear a lot about, and I mean the Bollywood and like everything, like the culture is just so rich, and India is huge. There's different types of cultures within India, and I mean I just wanted to see it for myself. Aside from that, I also really wanted to be immersed and see the small villages, and I wanted to just enjoy the time there with the people there.
I think that my mom was really the reason that I wanted to go. She has always we grew up watching Bollywood movies together, and that was something that, I don't know, just kind of like stuck with me. And we've eaten a lot of the cuisine all around the Bay Area, and it was just like something that seemed so exciting that I think that I was ready to like enjoy. And just also being able to, like, I was talking to people who were interested, like, who wanted to go, and it just seemed like a good group of people. And so I was like, I think that I'm gonna, try and see if I can get on this trip, and it's really paid off.
So when you all decided to go on this trip, obviously you have to go ask your parents. What were their thoughts?
At least my parents were a little nervous for sure. First of all, because I'd never been away that long and never somewhere so far. And of course, there's some stereotypes that go along with India and a place that is so unique. And so they were definitely a little apprehensive, but as we both learned about it concurrently, they were definitely more appreciative of it. And once I got back, they were super stoked about the experience I had.
I think my parents were really excited from the beginning. They've both been to India and speak very highly of their travels there, so I was always encouraged to do it, especially because I don't know the next time that I'll have an opportunity like this.
Yeah, my mom was honestly a bit jealous when she found out that I would have the opportunity to go. Like me, she's always also appreciated the culture. There was a little nervousness, like Aiden's parents, but overall just lots of support and encouragement.
My parents were scared, but they were very supportive throughout. My dad, more than anything, he was scared that it was such a long flight, and if anything happened to me, like how would they get to me? Especially, being so young, still being in high school. I mean, even though it is a high school trip and a school trip, he was still scared for my safety. And my mom was also scared, but she was more supportive. She was excited that I would meet a new place of the world. She was excited about what I could learn and about the opportunities it could bring. And I mean, they were both really proud that I even wanted to go to an immersion trip and go to India and see what life is like over there.
I remember mentioning it, when Miss Miller first mentioned it, junior year, I went home and I told my mom about it, and she was like, oh, let's see if we can make that happen. And she was always like, yes, this is something that you want to do. I want to, make that happen for you. And I think my dad, he didn't know. He was like, are you sure? And once I was like, yes, he was like all in. So that was really wonderful, that I felt really supported with my decision to choose this for my EB trip.
So it sounds like we have a good mix of like parents who've been traveling, been to India, some parents who haven't, and a little apprehension about what does that look like for my child. What was the experience like learning about that other culture and being able to share it, like you said, concurrently with the parent as you're preparing for the journey?
Oh,
I
That was
think
a bad question. That's my fault.
I should have think.
he's got out of it. I'm sorry.
I think that, yeah, well, for me, my parents had already they knew a lot about it. My dad majored in Buddhism too, so was pretty immersed in like the religious aspects of India, and he's studied Hinduism as well. So I think that, yeah, it was more them telling me what the experience was going to be like, rather than us learning about it at the same time. But it was still great to like have them look back on that part of their lives and kind of reflect, and then be able to share that with me, a lot of stories that I hadn't heard before. So yeah, that was nice.
My mom is a big organizer. She loves getting organized and being prepared. And she was really wonderful about like all like kind of the health things. That was what was on her mind the most. So she really, I think, and I also enjoyed it because we both like the medical stuff, just like, you know, kind of what diseases are kind of more current there, and just like maybe, you know, like I have to get the vaccines or take the medicine, whatever, I'm prepping for that. And that was kind of a learning journey. But besides that, I think that we both were like, just kind of wait to see what happens, that you kind of know what's going on once you're there. And that was, I think, made it even better for me.
So for immersion, usually that takes, you know, for somebody not a part of the culture, you could spend a lifetime trying to become immersed. Do you feel like you accomplished that goal of getting embedded and being immersed in that culture and really getting a grasp on what's going on there?
I think that we were very immersed. I think that just right from the start, just like the hospitality that we received and the conditions that we were staying in from the beginning, like staying, you know, in the same area that people are living, like we weren't in this hotel, like from the beginning. And I think that we just got a very good glimpse into like how daily life is. We were pretty far removed from like a major city, like in the first sort of like village we stayed in. And I think that was a really good experience to just kind of know how life is on the daily. Because there's some stereotypes with like city living in India, you know, that's what I knew most about before traveling there. And I didn't really expect or know how the countryside living would be, and just how, you know, things are like going on outside of the very busy and populated like cities there.
Yeah, I also think if one of the three of you want to share your experience putting on sari, that was
Sounds like a good one.
I mean, I was gonna talk about actually like the village visit. So if you guys want to talk about sorry.
Well, I met a woman who, her name was Uma. I was interested in like, I don't know, her sari. I thought that was very pretty and beautiful. And she offered to, dress me up in one. And so we just spent like probably like 3 hours, just this whole experience of like fitting, you know, fitting a sari to me specifically, like going back to like her house like 5 minutes away and just like, you're tailoring it to like, oh, what like top is gonna fit me and like what like, you know, drape is gonna work. So, and we like took pictures, and I met her family and her husband and her child, and I think that was such a connective experience. Yeah, just the connections have really immersed me, and that experience was just so magical. I loved it.
I mean, from my perspective, it was a beautiful experience. I walked out and I saw Flora in a sari, and I was just amazed. I mean, at first I saw her walk into the corridor and I thought she was one of the teachers. And on a second look, I was like, that doesn't look like a teacher. And she just looked so beautiful and so happy to be there and just like full of joy. And the teachers as well, they wanted to take pictures with her. They kept complimenting her, and they offered to do the same with me. And I didn't want to decline. I thought it would be disrespectful, and I thought it would be a missed opportunity to not, you know, indulge in this beautiful culture. So I did, and I mean, the women were so generous. They took their time putting on the sari. They took their time putting on makeup. It was just showers of compliments. You're so beautiful. You look like a princess. And I felt so welcomed. I felt so beautiful. I felt so happy to be there. And just the hospitality was amazing. And more than anything, I feel like as Americans, there's this very fine line between culture appreciation and appropriation. And that was just a moment of full appreciation. There was no appropriation there. And I mean, I would have missed out if I would have let my American views stop me from, allowing myself to be immersed in that way.